Life in the war zone is the life for me. I don't know why the people wanna die. Life in the war zone is all I'll ever know. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of poverty. Of thee I sing of commotion, I sing of pain. There's no more values to hunt my inner brain. There's death in the war zone, all morals have run dry. And I don't know why the people never cry. The government protects me, or so that's what I'm told. They let my blood run cold. I won't live to be old. This I know. In my inner sanctum, where bash boys come to play, there'll be bodies laying, waiting for the grave.
And welcome back to the Warzone. I'm your host, Dr. John Hammer, and we have a special guest today. We have Seth the Great from Prolapsed Catholic. How you doing?
Oh, hey man, been a slow day here.
Good, man. And yeah, thank you very much for joining. And could you just briefly introduce yourself? Where can they find you and all that?
Yeah, I'm on any sort of like updates on noise are over on my Instagram, Napalm Seth 1334. Yeah, mostly Prolapsed Catholic is the main thing, juggling a few extra projects that I can't really talk about yet. But yeah, live vocals, electronics, all that.
Awesome, man. And yeah, I kind of basically recently met you, and I met you, I think, in last October at the Che Cafe, and Noah introduced me to you, and then after that, you start talking about Bizarre Uproar. I'm like, all right, these dudes are all right in my book.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Big inspiration on my sound.
Hell yeah, man. And kind of what led you there? Like, was there or like did you discover like filth and violence kind of stuff early on?
Yeah, it was it ties back into like the story of when I first got into noise. I was in 6th grade for some reason. Yeah, that was way too early. But
Yeah.
my dad raised me on like metal and stuff.
Oh, cool,
And
man.
I thought it was cool, early White Zombie, Danzig, Slayer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I dug it, and which 5th grade I started like finding like death metal, grindcore, stuff like that. And I was like, all right, it's getting heavier now. I like this, but like I need something more. And I was at school one day, and it was during lunch. I was in like the library, and I Googled most extreme albums. And first thing that popped up was Birdseed by Whitehouse.
Okay.
Which that blew my mind. I was like, how are you making something sound this crushing without drums, guitar, bass,
Yeah.
like anything? And I, fell down a bit of a rabbit hole there, finding like Final Solution, Taint, Slogan, and Coma Detox. I found a rip of the album Concussed and Asphyxiated, which was released by Filth and Violence. And I was like, all right, this album art is disgusting. It's gross. I hate the reaction that I'm getting from it, but I want more of that. So fell further down and found Bizarre Uproar, Lily the Flesh. That album is still one of my favorites of all time in the genre.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah. I think it took me a while to like kind of find all the filth and violence stuff. You know what I mean? I think the first noise I ever heard, which is interesting, is Project Psychological Warfare, or just I think Cywar. It's the side project of Dwid from Integrity.
Yeah, Psy Warfare.
Yeah, Psy Warfare. I think it was a split with the Integrity, or maybe it was Lockwell. One of those, and I was just kind of like, "Wow, that's crazy." And but I was just like, kind of ego at the time. I was like, "I just want hardcore, though." I knew about it, but then I started getting like Blood Access, shit like that. Was just like I was coming across it, and this kind of shit. It's just like like you're saying, this is not these guys in a band. These guys, I feel like I put them on a higher level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weird thing too. It feels wrong, like calling White House a band, like, because when I think band, I think actual music. So I call them a group. It's why I hate the term noise musician. I think that's the biggest oxymoron in the world.
Yeah, hopefully I haven't said that yet. Yeah, but it's a band. It's not a band because, exactly, man. It's a different, but it's like an individual bringing the power of like 6 individuals to the forefront, but in their own completely new way, individual way, without, sitting there and rehearsing with the other guys like constantly over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It's even going back to White House. Like, I know Bennett kind of wanted it to still be a band while not being conventional music.
Yeah.
So the weirdest thing to me is, I don't know if you saw a few years ago, he released like the rehearsals for the first White House US tour. And I was so shocked. I was like, you guys rehearsed for that? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, still kind of harping on this. It goes beyond like heavy music because it's not music. It's just a pumping force all the time.
Right. Yeah. And then I feel like the personalities involved are just on another level. It's not like music at all. It's not even. It's more just art to me, or performance art, or even beyond that. Like one of my favorite acts, Condom. Like Sermon, for example. It's just the way it's put. It's almost like it's just a manifesto. You know what I mean? It's almost like a very like militant in your own way, like personal.
Yeah, and that's Condom's another one of my favorites, especially his live shows with like the face paint, the films that he would have playing on the background. Even when he explains like the philosophy of the project, which is to just dive deeper into like it's right there in the name, control domination, anything that is kind of infringing on people. Which I know a lot of people don't like the way that he went about it, but I love it.
Yeah, and why do you think that is, that people didn't like that approach?
I think it has to do with basically the unflinching attitude of it. I mean, there's a title that I won't say here. I'm not comfortable saying it, but the one on All in Good Faith, I'm sure people that know the album know which one I'm talking about. Which I think when people see it uncensored like that and someone saying it, that might leave a weird taste in their mouth. But I mean, it's when you read the lyrics of that song, he's literally talking about racism in the southern states of America. And it's not at all promoting it. It's meant to be this, like I said, unflinching sort of bare bones look at it.
Yeah, and most people are just so, I guess, stuck in just trying to paint this beautiful picture of everything, or like excluding what they think is negative, or just specific words, or like I was just talking to Eddie on the last episode about final solution, and like those two words in conjunction, they have power and they elicit a response from people, and it's just you know what I mean? It's very extreme, and but even though he didn't name it after anything in particular, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not promoting or glorifying. It's like, this is just this is what it is. People can't even handle that for the most part. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he explained it too in his White Centipede interview, that it's meant to be this sort of apocalypse, end of the line type of thing.
Right.
I mean, anyone that thinks that Final Solution were Nazis clearly hasn't looked at their logo, which is literally a swastika that's been broken apart. But, some people kind of lack media literacy.
Well, yeah, or even taking, I feel like people like being riled up, and they like pointing the fingers, they like being offended by things. That's why they don't even take the time to look into it, and, you know what I mean? I don't really. I kind of seek out like extreme, behaviors and art, things like that. But it's funny, even in my own like outlook. I think earlier on, I thought a lot of these artists were more serious. You know what I mean? Like I thought maybe like Zyklon SS or something like that guy. Like Hal's actually serious, like about all of that. It wasn't like some deeper meaning, or you know what I mean? It's not anything to do with like his political ideology.
Yeah, that's I had the same problem. Yeah, first getting into this, seeing guys like Genocide Oregon or Grey Wolves, which I was just like, oh, okay, so there's a lot of this going on in the scene, and which kind of put me off for a while, if I'm being honest. But then, you do a little more research, and you're seeing that there's a lot of Genocide Oregon, to me, comes off as very like tongue-in-cheek. I mean, even Grey Wolves, they started off as anarcho-punks in the 80s.
Really?
So
I didn't know that. That's funny. And like some of the earlier material by them, I love that a lot. And it's, not your traditional kind of power electronics. It's kind of its own weird thing, but
yeah, and it's, I like the idea of turning something on its head the way that they did, the whole cultural terrorist thing that they started. I love that. It's perfect.
Me too, man. And man, it's just it's such an inspiration, and to just elicit such a response, and you just see like what is the kind of polar opposite of that. It's just kind of some kind of mainstream pop thing that's more of a, I guess, marketing investment than an actual like any kind of real artistic expression.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want it to offend anybody. I want if I use this kind of template, I'm gonna be able to expect this kind of following, and that, you know what I mean? When you're totally just throwing it on its head, who gives a fuck about any of that shit? Like, also I was talking to Eddie about like places like Amoeba, places like that, they won't carry like a magazine like Special Interest. It's just too fucking hardcore. You know what I mean?
exactly. I was very surprised. Back in November, I went on a little trip up north to Berkeley with Makita from Lockwell.
Oh,
Makita Power
nice.
Electronics.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. And we dropped by Amoeba because it was right around the corner from the venue he was playing. And I was very surprised to see Easy Listening for Iron Youth by Non and God and Beast. Which, when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm taking these. That is my haul for the day.
Yeah.
But, stuff like their Merzbow section, their White House section, it was gone. I don't know why they even had the placard still up.
Yeah, that's it's interesting, and I guess they're trying to run a business, but on the other hand, it's like, whose business is it to like just, cater their whole inventory towards people that are fucking crybabies, you know what I mean, or people that get offended about art that they take it the wrong fucking way. That's their problem. They're gonna be that about everything, like
Yeah,
it's just,
it's a problem that even happened recently when the Genocide Organ Prurient album came out. There was some promoter who did a lot of work with Hospital, like always announcing like new drops and stuff like that. But when that album came out, they immediately announced that they were ceasing work with Hospital. They didn't want to deal with that anymore, which, I don't see. I mean, I guess I can see, but at the same time, if they had done their work, they should have known a little bit more context on that. Like you open the album up and you see photos from the Vietnam War showing the more horrific side of it and not celebrating it.
yeah, but what do they expect from unicorns and rainbow? I mean, I don't fucking get it, man. Some of these people, they're just, it's like, oh, that's too extreme. Like, who are you to fucking say? You know what I mean? They're and those are the ones that are the most authoritarian, and the ones, especially getting all bent out of shape about whatever. The ones going around pointing the fingers at everyone, acting like literal fucking Nazis, are the ones most vehemently opposed to the Nazis. It's like, I mean, those people are just fucking idiots. So hopefully we don't have to deal with their genetics too much longer, but hey, you never know, they might stick around longer than you think.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but that's why it just feels like, idiots fucking try to ruin the world for everybody. But I feel like people like Hospital should just take the stance of like, good, fuck you, we don't, you know what I mean? Good, we don't need you. And those people should just be red flagged, like, don't deal with them and just ignore these assholes. And it's just all fucking when you're DIY, you don't, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm losing money from this, but it's not about the money. It's about the expression. If someone's ever to like boycott, it's like, fuck you, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And I guess for shows that would be annoying, but you know what I mean? I was wondering if you've ever experienced any kind of thing like that, like any kind of attacks, censorship, or anything. I know Prolapsed Catholic, it's I know your premise is, it's deep, it's dark, but it's nothing that I guess would really could really be offensive,
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. I'm not saying to like, the goal is to push it to be offensive, like, it's not. And that's the worst too. Sometimes where projects are just offensive to be offensive. Besides anal cunt and things like that, but
yeah, I mean, there's some that definitely try a little bit too hard on that front. Like, I started off the interview saying it. I love Bizarre Uproar. One of my biggest influences of Noise. I don't agree with a lot of the things that he does or says, but who cares? It sounds good to me. It sounds good. And, he has that side project, Xenophobic Ejaculation.
Right, yeah.
Which, like, it just, I liked the recent album that he put out from it, but it doesn't grab me that much. It's almost cartoony in its offensiveness.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really click. I listened to it, and, just because it's associated with everything, and it wasn't anything special. I think maybe it's more of the like theme that really draws people in.
It's the ongoing jokes that I have with some friends about it is I don't know why Posey had to start a side project for his racism when Bizarre Uproar can be racist enough.
Yeah, but man, that's never really pushed me away, because I mean, it's just extreme shit, like that's, and also it's like, who's to, the people that would go around actually, let's say they weren't aware of that, and then they got in like, oh, this guy is like racist or something, I'm going to stop listening to it. So what if like you found out all of your favorite artists were racist? Would you stop listening? Like, you know, you got to draw a line at some things and just separate the art from the artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's a lot of not even like noise artists, but certain artists that I've had to do that with, like Pete Christopherson from Coil. I think he's a creative genius. I love his work. Finding out he was into the shadier side of sex, and the whole reason he moved to Thailand, yeah, that put me off. But you know, I'm gonna
does that make his music suck, or you not want to listen to it? Like,
I mean, Love Secret Domain is one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm still gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
but I can admit that, like, yeah, Sleazy is not a good person.
Right. Yeah, and you know that's another reason I want to talk to you, because you know, a lot of times, you know, I'll dive in trying to learn about an artist, and I'm usually disappointed. Like, it'd just be something you know, like they say in an interview or something, but you know, that's my problem too. I shouldn't have high expectations, but you know, you're consuming the person's art, you know, you'd think you'd be you know, kind of like-minded, but you know, just knowing you and Logan, just everything that goes into your music is I mean, I like it, man. And you know, and also what I like is you know, your song titles. I was talking to Logan about it, and he said that Seth is the guy to talk to about that. And you know, it's just, I don't know, man. They're just so well titled, and the themes, they all fit perfectly. And it's also a lot of stuff that I'm interested in too. Like you know, for instance, Apocrypha, you know, on God Bless the Death of Me, you know, and let's see, yeah, Jesus did not suffer and die on the cross, but only seemed to, and just like title like that just are really draw me in, you know, and it's not just some copycat thing or a cut and paste. You can actually tell a lot of thought and you know, energy went into this. And can you elaborate a little bit on like where does this come from?
A lot of it is just you know, I myself am not religious. I have an interest in it, but I don't subscribe to a religion.
Right.
But you know, I have like the Bible, I have the Book of Mormon. At one point I had the Quran just because. But it's just there's certain lines where if you flip through the Bible and you stop, and you know, everyone goes to like Revelations or Exodus, but even in certain books like Matthew, there are lines that are very striking and heavy. Like, they seem like they could be threats at points if you just remove the context of it.
Right.
And I like that sort of in between. Like, is this? I leave people guessing is always like the attitude I take to this, where it's like someone could look at this and think that we are, you know, militant Christians, or they could see it as us being edgy Satanists and like trying to like flip this on its head.
Oh man, yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. And actually, when I, you know, Noah told me about you guys, and it was kind of, you know, at the kind of end of, I just actually had a recent resurgence in interest in Christianity, specifically Orthodox, and he shared this, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I wonder if these guys are Christians. And then, because I had, you know, my mindset was exactly what you said. And then he said, no, I don't think so. And I think he actually had the other side of the coin of what you suggested. But what is brilliant about this project, it's somewhere in between. Most projects you see that involve Christianity are actually like either extremely opposed, like blasphemous type of thing, or they're extremely in favor of it. There's nothing really, there's not much in between, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, that even ties back to how much I love Condon. Like, all in good faith, get right with God. I forgot what song it is that starts with a sample of a woman talking about being sexually abused by a priest. And then there's another song where it seems almost like a hymn.
Yeah. What is like that's funny because I was thinking like these guys seem anti-Christian, but then sometimes you look at it, you're like, this seems like they're kind of actually like using or benefiting from Christianity in this sense, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I have nothing against Christians. I mean, of course, we hang around guys like Nikita, and Nikita's a Christian.
Yeah, that's funny. I just thought that exactly like right before you said that. Yeah, that's interesting. And his whole story, I think Dwid was talking about it, or Oscar on White NP Noise. He was actually like very ill at one point, and he actually had faith in Jesus or the Bible or something like that. And actually, I don't know, something involved like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna air out too much of the details.
Right.
It's a story, but it is a very striking story. Like it moved me even. I got love for Makita. He lives 10 minutes down the road from me. Like that dude's basically my neighbor.
No shit, man. That is so funny because he played at that show that I first met you at. But I've been like I've been an Apartment 213 fan for a long time, and I had no idea he was involved in that. Or I might be mistaken about that if he's not the same guy from Cleveland involved in Lockweld.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that he wasn't at first, and that's kind of his joke, is that when people are, like he said, oh yeah, I'm Makita from Apartment 213 or Lockweld, they'd be like, no, you're not. He goes, no, back then I was a great big fat guy, and like that seems to be his ongoing bit whenever he brings it up. But yeah, he's definitely changed. He's not throwing bricks at people's head anymore, but he'll lead you in worship, and I definitely respect it.
Yeah, man, that is interesting. Yeah, like I just mentioned, during kind of all the COVID shit, I don't know, it was freaking me out. I was fighting for my livelihood and my job and all that, and I just like, I'm not gonna diss Christianity or anything because I, benefited from it, but but also when I start digging into it and start asking the hardball questions, I wasn't getting any answers, and I think I was treated unfavorably, and I'll leave it at that. And I left the church, but I kind of returned to the left-hand path. You don't have to be a baby sacrificing Satanist to follow left-hand path, but at the time, I don't know. I just went to the right-hand path for a moment and realized it's not for me, but it's great for a lot of people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't think those people should be excluded from any kind of music scene, be it metal, noise, whatever. You know what I mean? I think that's what that integrity or that Dwid interview that he's kind of suggesting that he maybe felt unwelcomed at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's still getting shit for being Christian.
But that's cool, man. That should be the ultimate. Yeah, fuck you. But I guess I don't know if Christians.
Yeah.
But what? That's what I think about it. It's like if you're pissing people off, you're fucking doing something right.
I mean, how good are you at your job to the point where even the power electronic guys are being offended by you for something as simple as that?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so it's like, that's why also, going back to Prolapsed Catholic, you can have this, you're kind of like dark take on it, without being like trying to this edgy, blasphemous guy, and it just kind of adds to the mystery and the mystique of the project.
Yeah, and it's it. I don't know. I like I said, it's the duality of it. Like we aren't pointing out the good parts of it. We're not pointing out the bad parts. In Christianity, you have guys like Lapita who help out a lot of people and bring people up. But in Christianity, you also have someone like Jim Jones who can kill nearly 1,000 people.
Right.
So, it's things like that, and we talked about this a little briefly. I'm a true crime nerd. The first pins, or the first big run of pins that we did, it's the photo of David Berkowitz in prison pointing out the Bible. It's things like that, especially his 180 that he did post observation.
Wow, I didn't I am surface level. I'll get to something. Especially that Berkowitz. I'm totally convinced that guy has no blood on his hands. And then when I arrived at that, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'll just move on. This thing. I feel like this is a psyop, and I feel like I solved the psyop, and I move on. But man, it's interesting. It's that he has a Bible and all that. True crime. It's just one of the most fascinating topics because it's just it's all psychological. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And another one of my influences is Slogan, who calls himself True Crime Electronics, and he breaks it down perfectly. Is that a lot of it? He's not glorifying any of it, but he is dropping you in the mind of a serial killer a lot of the times, which, he conveys it perfectly. And, like I said, it is psychological. And that's why I mostly do the reading, is trying to piece together, what sort of portrait of whoever I'm reading on. I just read this book, Through the Window by Diane Fanning, about Tommy Lynn Sells. And that one, that's rough. I'd never want to read that book again. But I think some minds shouldn't be touched, and he's one of them.
That's interesting. Yeah, I need to look into that. Yeah, definitely. That's what when I first kind of encountered White House, Soto's, shit like that. It was kind of the same reaction, But then again, I was just like, all right, that's one project, but still, it's just I'm still interested. I don't get offended by anything, and especially once you realize, I realize that this world is just dualistic. There's no way it's ever going to be all good. There's no way it's going to ever be all evil. It's just a mix, and the only constants is chaos, and that's what this murderous behavior is chaos. And it's part of nature, but also I feel like society is so fucked up and it's so backwards. I feel like we're living in hell. So to me, to have a person react and violently is no real surprise either. And I think especially was really used well in that cut set where that opening sample. He's like, I'm constantly torn between killing myself and everyone around me. I'm like, that's the fucking energy, dude. It's relatable. The pressure is on with the cyber warfares, the bullshit in the news, how fucked up society is. Intentionally, it's that's the way it's orchestrated to be fucked up for anyone other than the upper class. It's no surprising. We're not all raving psychopathic murderers.
Yeah, like you said, you hit the nail on the head with it. This world is chaos. We are living in hell. That's something with a lot of the titles, that is something that I'm kind of like dropping hints to. That is a little bit of my my mindset. I forget who exactly coined this phrase. I've seen it thrown around a lot. Like it's either Yukio Mishima or I forgot his name. He is this weird like anarchistic street musician that tried running for office in Japan, and he straight up says like, look, I don't have any points. We need to hit the reset button, annihilate everything that exists. Like I've yelled that during Prolapsed Catholic shows. Like as part of the lyric that I return to a lot is that, and this place is a graveyard, this world is a tomb.
Yeah, and that's how I'm beginning to feel. Early on in my life was kind of more just taken aback by it all. Vegetarian and try to just I don't know. I was just really thought that I could, if I just did good enough, this world would be good. And then I realized how fucked up I am, and then how a lot of people are, and just accepting that and just being like, we're like half demon, half angel living in hell. And, like when I was studying Christianity, it's just like, okay, all this fucked up shit in Gaza, you can easily send someone down to stop this. Why would a loving God of peace let this all happen, right? And so therefore, as like the Gnostics thought that this place is created by Satan, it's a satanic realm. You see, the people that are the most successful are Satanists. So, like, on Earth Day, I just celebrate, like, fuck the Earth. I don't give a fuck about this. It's like a video game to me. Like, you kill someone in a video game, it's not like I'm going to feel bad about it. None of this shit's... And that's basically, I guess, the premise of Buddhism. It's all a fucking illusion anyways, right?
Yeah, and it's... going back to Earth Day, I'm always, like, weirdly torn on that. Like, I don't know if it's something that's been brought up before, but... like Atwa also plays like a big part in Prolapsed Catholic, the Manson philosophy of air, trees, water, animal. It's like, give it back to them. We don't need people. But then there's other times where I'm like, just you can also cares. I don't.
Yeah, no, we spoke a little bit about before. I brought up Gnosticism, and then you mentioned kind of the Charles Manson type philosophy, and I'm totally unfamiliar. And would you just kind of like dive a little deeper in that and explain that a little further?
Well, it's I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary Charles Manson Superstar, directed by Nicholas Shrek.
No, I just recently heard about that. I've heard it before, and something's telling me I need to watch that that documentary.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
Let alone documentaries, and there is like this heavy Gnosticism involved in his philosophy.
Yeah.
Like Abraxas, he constantly goes back to Abraxas.
Yeah, Abraxas, yeah.
Yeah, because I believe at one point he said that he was just an avatar of Abraxas, which
that's interesting.
There's so much to go into with it, and I can't condense it all into.
No, it's all good. I just, you brought up Abraxas. That kind of explains it all for me. Being me kind of, versed in Gnosticism, I know, anyone familiar with Abraxas, they know to basically steer clear, not to play around with Abraxas at all. And I mean, I think that explains a lot about his psyche,
Yeah, I mean, there's that quote of his, I'm a straight razor if you get too close. Like, yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, his whole interview is very, I don't know, he dives a lot more into, like, this revenge philosophy that he had. Even when talking about Christ, he's like, you can't take someone, drag them, degrade them, do all kinds of shit to them, then turn around and go to church and worship him on Sunday.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. You can't take a man, cuss him, beat him, throw him on the ground, and take him to church on Sunday. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, like the way that he words it is, I mean, just his cadence to his tone, like it's entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you really listen to the things that he has to say, like, he is a very smart person.
Oh yeah, one of the things where I guess I don't know if it was Geraldo or some kind of dipshit New World Order type broadcaster was asking, is like, how do you deal with prison? He's like, oh man, prison's in the head. I'm free in my mind. I can go anywhere I want. You're the one in prison. And the guy's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're saying that to a guy who was basically raised in prison.
Right, but you know what? That's the interesting thing. I had his story, the whole official narrative that you'd get from like public school or something, in a Barnes and Noble type Charles Manson history would be, he's this cult leader guy, yada yada, outlaw. But you know what? That guy has been in and out of prison. But why would they just keep letting him back out? That was my problem. Then they would find him, with machine guns, LSD. And then be like, oh, Charlie, no. And then, back out. Or even sometimes not even locked up for some shit. And it had nothing to do with, he never killed anybody. But this was like, he was doing some just crazy shit behind the scenes. You know what I mean? And,
oh, yeah.
And he was upfront about it, and he was outspoken. And it's not like the story is just so bizarre. I don't think anyone could really tell you the truth about the whole thing. You know what I mean? Except for
it's like we will never have the full story. We're just gonna have a book that gets as close as we possibly can to the full story, because
right,
everyone says like, oh well, if Helter Skelter wasn't a real thing, why didn't Manson ever just say what happened? It's like, again, this dude grew up in prison. You don't think that, like, the no snitching rule was deeply ingrained in him? Like,
right.
But, yeah, he's someone I'm very fascinated by. Him and George Bataille probably played the biggest roles in my attitude when it comes to Prolapsed Catholic.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, George Bataille. I know Noah's also very influenced by him, and but I'm not as well versed with that as Charles Manson. But I think because Charles Manson is, it's very American, and my whole take on it, I'll tell you what I think. At the moment, this is, because that's always, like I said, the only constant is change. My views change, whatever. I'm not married to anything, but at the time, the hippies, I felt they were like a wedge between like the green light to go and wage to create any kind of military contract for any amount of years, for any amount of millions or billions of dollars, and not were the hippies. And people actually saw them on TV protesting, and it made them think like, this isn't right, this and that. And then they took that image and then they just totally 180'd it into demonic murderer, Satanist cult member, cult group. You know what I mean? And then I feel like then it's just, game on, back to war.
Yeah, and I definitely see that side of it too. But I mean, even then, like, when you really think about it, the only real hippie ideal that Manson had was the free love thing. And I think that's all he really wanted, like his end goal. He just wanted to hang out in the desert, bang a bunch of chicks, right around in dick buggies.
Right.
Like, that's all he wanted. And
then, there's nothing wrong. That's like, that's what man would want that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. I would have been there.
Yeah.
But,
But they totally painted him in that corner, though. I've heard him say in interviews, like, man, I ain't no hippie, I'm a beatnik. Like, you know what I mean? He's older than the hippie thing, and he saw it as like a teeny bopper type thing. But they painted him as this hippie Nazi cult leader. Like it just threw a bunch of just shit in, and it stuck to him. And I don't know. Yeah, I just like to dig deeper. And any good books out there you can recommend that are like kind of a free press take on Charles Manson, or any kind of real documentation.
Well, bringing him up again, the recent edition of the Manson file by Shrek.
Yeah.
That, like I said, we're never going to get the full story, but we're going to get as close as we can to the full story. And I believe that book hits the nail on the head, explains a lot of like the shady Hollywood ties that went into it and might have acted as motivation. And, even though they were good friends, and Nicholas still says, he's like, I'm not saying he was completely innocent. He was still a criminal, but he was not a murderous mastermind at all.
Right. Yeah, and I also heard a backstory of Roman Polanski and the way he, was treating women. And man, it seems like that dude could have just had his wife knocked off in some kind of occult murder, and just like, oh, it's these hippie boys. It could have been a full-on Church of Satan ritual to get more fucking loose from Satan. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and Polanski is a monster, as we all know.
Right, like that guy is like some innocent guy. Oh no, like no one thought to look deeper into it, and like I don't know, it's all seems rigged and fucked up, like everything else we see on in the world.
Yeah, it's there is a lot of weird ties. Like one of the victims that night. A few victims, actually, Steve Rukowski and Jay Sebring were actually well-known drug dealers for, like, the Hollywood celebrity types.
Yeah.
And had dealt personally to Tex Watson and Susan Atkins, who were two of the most, like, kind of... I don't know how else to describe them other than ticking time bombs. Like, when it really comes down to, like, members of the so-called family... Yeah. Those were the two that could switch up at any moment. And when you read Susan Atkins' first confession, she straight up admits that the reason that they went there is because her and Tex got burned on a drug deal and wanted their revenge.
That doesn't really make much sense. And, and also the way they were behaving, I mean, I've seen... kind of footage of them in prison, and just how theatrical, like it seemed so fake and weird and bizarre, and like it seemed like more like a movie or something I was watching. But then I was thinking of it, I was like, if some kind of MK Ultra type person would be maybe acting like the same way, like almost like they're hypnotized, they don't have a free will, they want you to act like this specific exaggerated way. You know what I mean? It's just, the whole thing is just so fucking bizarre, man. And, we'll never really know.
It's, I get what you're saying, too. Yeah, there's interviews with Susan where she looks very blank. Like, there's no real emotion there. But at the same time, look at the other ones that are closest to Charlie, like, looking from... And look at Sandra Good, like they're perfectly fine. They were, released from prison. They're living normal lives.
Really?
Yeah, I mean.
Interesting.
Lynette, like Fulton in their garden. You sure? And she tried to assassinate her.
Huh.
It's interesting, but. Like, she also has, like, the most unbiased view where she's like, yeah, there were some shady things, but I still love Charlie. I think he helped me a lot. I think Sandra Good even said that being around him actually helped her mental health.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was, okay, so he was just using all these New World Order tactics, right? Like... the use of LSD to reprogram people and to isolate them so you can kind of create who they become, or when they break a person's personality, so the second alternate personality they can totally have control of. He was doing the same thing with these women out in the desert, and it's like, where is he getting all this LSD from? You know what I mean? A lot of this shit, where is he getting it from? Where is he getting all this fucking money? And it's like,
I mean,
you know,
LSD, I mean, look at the time period.
But
basically on
my
every
whole
street
take
corner.
is though that you know, that is all not what it's like just Timothy Leary by himself. Like, he's taken in by the government. Like, hey, we're gonna make this shit, this truth drug or whatever, and we're gonna be using it for the CIA, FBI, and you know, and how is, you know, I felt like he was just so tied in with that. And you look at like Operation Midnight Climax when you know, they're just randomly giving John's acid. It's like these were all programs, and like, you know, his tactics were kind of the same as these like standards and procedures the government was using at the same time. It's just you know, it could be coincidental, but still, it's just like, it's all just so surreal and just crazy to try to put yourself back in that time period, you know?
Yeah, like I could not imagine being around for that. But I mean, it's like you said, just these same sort of tactics. I mean, it's well known that he was reading like Dale Carnegie books, like How to Win Friends and Influence People in Prison.
Yeah, that's some mastermind shit. Like, yeah, people are learning like check fraud, shit like that. Like, but he's just like, how do I control people and fucking,
Yeah,
you
how
know?
do you know, this whole like, yeah, people are learning how to make like prison wine, and
Yeah, prison wine, dude. Yeah,
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 I forgot like the name for it, but it's something gross.
yeah. But yeah, man, that's and it's cool that you know, like it's just that it's like part of the premise, but it's not the entire premise. Because I know there's you know, a lot of people like have used Charles Manson, for instance, Integrity. I don't even. Are you familiar with that project? Get all the.
Oh, that's one of my favorite hardcore bands of all time.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, because me too. Like, that's you know, I was kind of started off like, you know, kind of metal, and then like industrial, and then unfortunately I followed the trend with my friends as a kid getting into punk. And then, you know, I was just like, dude, I realized I was following a trend. And then at the same time, like the hardcore, like the metal and punk kind of at once was like kind of fusing. And I found Integrity. And man, the imagery, the arts, and a lot of the shit is like based on Gnosticism, Church of Final Judgment, and things that I still like hold dear, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he has that full album community is the devil.
Yeah, and man, the and you know, Pusshead is like one of my favorite artists. It's like it's like, are those things all my favorite things, or it's like, is it because of finding Integrity when I was a teenager? I don't know. It's like really fucking shaped and molded my taste. Especially, you know, he was involved with the noise project, Cyber Warfare, and like, you know, without that, I wouldn't have probably known about noise till way later, you know.
Yeah, and he's a lifer about this, which I really respect. I mean, obviously his opinion on certain things has changed, but you know, he's not back then apologizing for any of it. Unlike someone else who's also a pretty big name in the noise scene has in recent years, which, you know, I respect him for that. He's like, yeah, I don't feel this strong, but I did it, and I'm not going to back down from that.
Yeah, and yeah, man, just it's a really good legacy. And but you know, to be honest, when I was listening to his interview on that White Centipede Noise, I was a little disappointed that he is like, you know, he thought he saw the Waco thing. He's like, oh, I can do that. Not like, man, how fucked up how fucked up is the government for actually doing that to people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that did bum me out too.
Did it? So I'm not the only. I was like,
Yeah, but I think that also says a lot about his state of mind that he saw that happening. It was just like, all right, how do I use audio as a weapon on people? Which I really respect too, even though,
for
like I
sure.
said,
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
Throbbing Gristle. I think that was one of their objectives early on too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Throbbing Gristle, Non. I think that plays I think Non did it a little bit better. It's more grating. This might come off as a little bit hypocritical, but a lot of, or not hypocritical, but I guess blasphemous. I can't get into a lot of the Throbbing Gristle stuff. There's potential for something there, but a lot of it gets wasted on like pretty beats like Hot on the Heels of Love.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with you, but it's I
They earn their spot. Like, I'm not besmirching them. That's just my opinion.
No, yeah, I totally feel you, and it's like, let's say Throbbing Gristle never existed, but all the shit was released today. Would it be as popular, or is it like, they were the pioneers, they were the ones thinking outside the box, therefore that's kind of what their legacy is about. Not like every song is a banger, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like, and I definitely have that look at them. Like, yeah, they revolutionized this very niche part of the world that ended up impacting music in general. I feel like because of them, a lot of mainstream artists ended up dabbling a little bit in industrial.
Yeah, for sure.
And, David Bowie collaborating with 9 Inch Nails for an album, Depeche Mode trying it. I mean, even Ministry starting off as a pop act and then getting just heavier with each album until they unfortunately shit the bed as a band.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you brought them up. I was just listening to Psalm 69 the other day. They're a mainstream band, but I love what they've done. Even like the Twitch, that kind of got me into a lot of...
yeah, Twitch is amazing.
Yeah, that got me into like industrial electronic music, and that's kind of like, I heard the Cyber Warfare shit. I'm like, this is crazy because it's just so fucking nuts. But even today, it's like I want to bring in like elements of like Twitch, or just to not to be like, I don't want to hurt anybody or punish the people with the fucking noise. It already takes discipline to be into it, right? And but to try to make it like easy on the people and to sound good, not to be like playing live and just be like overly harsh and loud and trying to injure the people. You know what I mean? I'm not about that shit at all. But I do think there's credit, and I think that's cool as fuck if that's people want to go, and that has merit. But I'm not going to that shit, and I don't want to put anyone through that. So
yeah, and it's I definitely get what you're going for. I mean, you see like. I don't know if you ever watched the Ministry live DVD Sphincter.
No, I need to check that out, man.
Yeah, it's great because you're seeing like, these heavy riffs and everything, and someone gets knocked out during the song Thieves.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to see someone, it's a lot more different than other sort of industrial mosh pits.
Yeah.
To see something like that, it's interesting to me, and I kind of differ. I like the idea of making people feel on edge during a live show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I'm a big fan of that. I think you've probably noticed it in a few of the live videos where go out into the crowd and interacting with people.
Yeah.
To me, that's fun. And
No, yeah, that's cool as fuck. I like that. It's just like, it's just nice when everyone has their own approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like,
when you look at like the confrontation that guys like Mike from Condom, Agonal West, I think were the kings of it, really.
Really? What about any standout hijinks or confrontations?
Oh, man. I remember James from Agonal West saying when they played the Dominion of Flesh Festival in 2022, they were prepared to play like an hour set, and they ended up fighting one of the members of the crowd and got shut down after 13 minutes. So it's like something like that too. I mean, James, the other guy, is stabbing himself with what looks like a surgical scalpel. Still manning the keyboards and taunting the crowd, like, fuck you, you're all dead. Like, something like that. I love going out into the crowd and pushing people, smearing blood on their faces. Like,
well, that's cool. That's kind of like GG-esque type shit,
Yeah, and I love that too. Maybe I could start doing that on like a smaller scale.
Yeah, because my only problem with that is like I'm an Aries and I'm already like feel like I'm fighting the world and everything in front of me. If like I go to a show or something and I don't know, I just don't. I think I'll end up fucking somebody up or you know what I mean. I don't want to put anyone in the hospital or some shit like that. It'd be not good, but it's just. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Project Bad Luck 13 Riot Extravaganza.
I haven't, but I love that name.
Yeah, it was like, I saw them, they play at Showcase Theater. They're from East Coast. Anyhow, they're notorious. I think a lot of the dudes are like ex-prison guys or whatever, but it's a hardcore band. And there was like 13 guys in the band, and like 4 of the guys just go out in the crowd and just beat the shit out of people. And when I saw him at the showcase, it's like I wanted to see him play, but I didn't want to get like someone hits me, dude. My flip switches. And I don't care if I die. I'm just like blind fucking rage, just trying to kill anything in my way. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want to get involved in. And I've been in martial arts a lot in my life, so I know I can hurt someone if I really wanted to. But so I stayed upstairs, but still, even then, they were running around upstairs like Roman candles. It seemed like they're trying to burn like the club on fire. But it was like, that kind of, I appreciate that kind of confrontation, and it's great. And I wish more people like that. It's just, man, sometimes, I don't know, that scares me, the violence a little bit. It's like, because when shit goes down, it's like the fight or flight. Like, I don't know.
Well, I remember the first time we met, seeing Makita at the Che, and, he picked up the mic stand and came running at where me and Andrew were standing.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't know he was going to do that. Even I got a little afraid. That's why immediately me and Banjo had to grab the mic stand and kind of push him back a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I wasn't expecting that. I got a little spike of adrenaline, but I just stood there. I was like, no, this is all playful. This is just like these guys pumped up and ready to perform. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But I've been to shows where it's like dudes are out there trying to fuck people up, and it's like, it's hard. It's like, what do? Do you fight back? Do you leave? Do you just watch or what?
Yeah, and then, even at that same show, when he was like trailing the edge of the stage and he jumped into the crowd, he accidentally like kneed someone in the face. But even after that, they walked up to the table and like you could see the bruise starting to form on their face, and they're like, how much for a tape? And like that, that's a perfect moment right there.
That's cool, man. That's cool as fuck. It's all about letting that shit out there and then in that space. It's all good,
Yeah, and he immediately apologized to them before they even asked for a tape. They walked up, and he thought that they were gonna be like, "Hey, I didn't really appreciate this," and he was like, "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't."
Fucking knock him out right then and there.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. How much for a tape? Like, they brushed it off, and I was like, all right, that is perfect. I like seeing that.
Yeah, that is cool, man. I like seeing that too. That's why I was telling you that Bad Luck 13 show. There's these dudes out front. The guys had like barbed wire when they're fucking the people up. It was like professional wrestling. So these kids, they were all just mutilated, bloody, and bleeding, and you could just hear them like, dude, that was awesome. Their parents probably picked them like, what the fuck?
I cannot tell you the amount of times I've like come home from like house shows and I'm just bruised up, my throat's gone, I can hardly walk. And when I still lived with my grandma, she'd be like, oh, how was the show last night? I'm like, it was great. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't complain. I'm like, yeah, I should know, like, if I'm there, I'm probably going to get hit. And I have a big mouth, so I'm definitely going to get hit.
Well, that's cool, man. It's like, at least you don't have you're not a coward, and you know what I mean. You know yourself, you know your limits, and it's all good. It's all good fun, and it's good to let out the fucking aggression. That's why I love, Bobby Altman even put it, letting out the demons. That's why I feel like a lot of this shit's about, dude, letting those fucking demons out of there.
His set and your set that day were like the two that I was just like, I just felt on edge watching it. Like, yours was just the atmosphere that you created. I loved it. And we were talking about that after the show too. They were like, yeah, I was getting ready to black out during John's set earlier. But I mean, also just the way that Bobby looks.
Oh, like, yeah, dude.
He is terrifying. And seeing him just go insane with that looping sample over and over again, it was amazing.
Dude, when I was there, I saw him outside, and you know what I mean, kind of, been involved in like lifting weights, bodybuilding a little bit of that. So, I immediately noticed him, like, dude, who the fuck is this guy? He's huge.
Yeah, I'm like, why is this like the heaviest dude at a noise show right now?
But man. But I gotta tell you, that Prolapsed Catholic show that night, though, is like, I don't know, when you see real blood and I don't know, man, just the atmosphere and the energy and the engagement, you know what I mean? Just telling people, come the fuck up here, dude. It's like that that sets the tone. Like, a lot of people are just, they can't do that. They can't operate like that, but you guys can, and I love that energy. That's why I'm so drawn towards Prolapsed Catholic, dude. And it's such a fucking great project where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like I was saying, with a Christian theme, but it's so dark, but still, like, it's not like you're blasphemous against it, and you can have a Christian friend like Makita and not, you know what I mean? Not make it into some fucking LARPing bullshit,
Yeah, it's, I think Makita knows where we stand.
That's on his new album, Where Do You Stand? If you've heard the new Makita album on Deathbed Tapes.
It's so good. I got a copy. It's great. He knows where we stand, but he's still a friend of ours. He doesn't try to convert us. Like, he's, I consider him family. And it's great. I imagine he probably thought the same of us. He probably thought that we were Christian, and who knows, maybe hearing the Jim Jones sample on the album We Are Protected by Divinity probably told him where we were. But
we are Christians. We're the genocidal type.
Yeah, it's like we're the Christians that are making crucifixes out of AK-47s.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I love it, dude. And I need to get a Prolapsed Catholic t-shirt, and I need to get some tapes here. I'll be moving soon, so I'll be going to be putting in an order. And also, Prolapsed Catholic show coming up July, you in the July 15th slot at the Idaho Noise Fest in Boise?
I believe that's the day that we land. I'll have to check about that.
All right.
We got that one August 7th.
August 7th.
Yeah, there's that one in San Diego, and then
Is that
October.
the
at
Chick
Warzone.
Cafe?
The August one is at I forgot the name. I'll send it to you, and you can put it in the description.
Okay, 'cause I
know-
need to promote all these shows. It's hard to keep track of you guys. You play so much, but I'm trying to get all your show dates out there, and also I'm trying to get on the bill for that Idaho Noise Fest. So
Yeah, hey, it'd be amazing to see you there.
hopefully, Heretic can join you guys, and but yeah, man, I'm just looking
I'll try
forward
not
to
to
it.
throw anything at you during that set.
No, I didn't mean to make a big deal about that, but you know what I mean. It's just
Okay, I'm just joshing.
well, once you once you get older and shit, dude, and I don't know, man. It's just
Oh, no,
I was
I guess.
thinking about it, dude. If I could totally have like this G.G. Allen type project where I just go start up, flip people off, and just start swinging on motherfuckers. But I think I don't know. I'd probably end up in jail quick or dead quick.
I mean, it's, I try to, whenever I see someone in the crowd that I know, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna fuck with them, but
Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna
cool.
fuck
If you
with them
just
too
fuck with
hard.
the strangers, that's where it's
Yeah.
at. You know what I mean?
I might push my friend, but I'm not gonna, grab their hair and scream the lyrics in their face.
Yeah, so much. I've done that to people before, and man, I guess I have. I don't believe in karma though, but maybe there's more punishment. I just, when the people are doing the crowd killing thing or they doing the ninja kicks and they accidentally get me, dude, I just feel like that should just be like a green light to just fucking go out, just like beat the shit out of the guy. And oh no, it's just good fun, man. I'm dancing and just like, but you're just straight on like Muay Thai, fucking kickboxing their ass into the ground.
I don't like it. I hate being hit by it.
Yeah, that's why I hate hardcore shows. I used to love hardcore, but dude, that hardcore dancing is embarrassing, man. Like, that shit looks so fucking weak. The windmills and all that. I wish people would just stop doing it. It's fucking retarded, but you know what I mean?
I mean, that's
it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't like being checked by it. That's why whenever I go to a hardcore show, I make sure to I'm staying in the back. I'm using someone else as a shield. I'm putting someone else in harm's way. There's a show coming up. I think you saw the announcement for Hospital Fest.
Yeah.
Having the band Kickback there, which I've been joking about it with my friends. Like, that might be the only set I'm actually terrified to mosh during, because I don't think that there's going to be hardcore dancing. I think there's going to be actual crimes.
Really? I'm not familiar with that one.
They are also, weirdly enough, a big influence on the band. But they're very much so Sodos fans, Noise fans. They have a whole EP that's basically inspired by Jamie Gillis and the Marquis de Sade. They are an amazing band.
Well, it doesn't sound like any windmills there, so you can count me in for sure.
There's no windmills, it's just stabbings all the time.
Stabbings. Dude, well, at least a stabbing, you know what I mean? It's like, you're hurt, it's like getting slapped in the face by a little windmill. It's just annoying. It's like I'm infuriated now, getting stabbed. It's like, oh fuck, I'm stabbed. I better go get taken care of. When you're just infuriated, you're standing there and this little manlet's flailing around. Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm internally wanting to crush you, but I live in this weak society where they look down upon that, and I would be ostracized from this event probably permanently. So, you got to endure the windmills. It's torture. I'd rather be stabbed.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I don't know. I wish there were more bands that, actual bands that were dangerous in that regard, bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. And, I don't want to seem like a pussy. I shouldn't have said anything about
No, you're good. Like I said, I get it completely.
Yeah, but you know, with the danger thing, yeah, I totally agree, man. Shit is just like, especially, you know, well, not. I feel like there's a backlash though. I feel like maybe a generation of people were offended by everything. They wanted everything to be like a cozy little blanket for them. But I feel like the people that came after them are the opposite. They don't give a fuck about anything. They don't get offended. Like some of the younger people I work with, they got a good sense of humor. I can say whatever the fuck I want. They don't get mad, and they think it's funny. And so I don't know, man. I see some crazy shit coming up. I mean, you see it in comedy, you know what I mean? They went through a whole phase of just like censorship and just weakness. Now it's like the opposite. Like it's total savagery. Anything fucking goes. And you know, I see maybe not in the mainstream. I think the mainstream is just fucked and it's gonna die. And just you know, the people that follow that are just gonna be confused and they'll just all jump off the cliff at the same time, hopefully. But it'll just be a wasteland of underground shit that no one's plugged into, so they don't know about it. But yeah, man. You know,
this is something that me and Benja were talking about the other day. Of, you know, like the White House guys or Aaron Dillaway, like they're still underground, but they don't have to work a normal job ever again.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's like ideal living. If I can make money just selling noise and just still be able to pay my rent, that'd be cool.
You can do it, man. I'm telling you right now, you can do it. It's already in your mind. You can do it, and you're gonna do it, man. Just stick with it. Fucking don't ever give up on that. You're gonna do it, man. And you know, it's just you gotta. But the way to do it, though, it's got to be about bank robbing. Then you're never going to have to worry about money. You know, you got bank robbing electronics.
Don't get me wrong. Identity fraud plays a big part in everything I do.
No, it's just it's performance art, dude. It's part of the act. It's identity theft.
You don't understand. I needed your social security number as part of the bid.
Yeah, it's all part of the show. Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone's supposed to give it at the door. But, yeah.
That's how you pay.
Yeah, but it's funny about the danger thing. I remember just one day seeing something about that in special interest. You know, I was just like, man, like, and there's something, I totally just need like some noise artist that's just, you know, I'm a nerd, so I don't want anyone nerds out there to take it the wrong way. But man, you know, so many noise artists just come off as nerds. Like, we need some crazy, dangerous fuck like G.G. Allen, just like fried out of his fucking mind. Will do whatever the hell that's like impulsive to him. You know what I mean? But yeah, that wasn't well received, and people got bummed out at it. I'm like, fuck. I'm not gonna argue, the guys. You have your own opinion, but you know, to say that like, you know, that shit doesn't belong or whatever, you know, I get in some certain circumstances what it doesn't, but it's not all just for shock either. It's all part of the fucking act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, there were like, you know, guys before me that have influenced the way that I act during live shows, like Sean Beard from Waves Crashing Piano Chords. There was like a little bit of a joke with like the Juggalo power electronics thing, but like the videos of him where he would just like yell out "whoop whoop motherfucker" and then sucker punch someone with the mic.
Yeah,
like, that was it was mind blowing to see. I mean, he's calmed down a lot, like, but there's still like an element of sleaze that I like.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what I'm saying before. I just feel like, you know, you get that shit out of your system in your youth. You know what I mean? Like if you're like some 50-year-old guy going around sucker punching people, it's like, you know, you deserve to get the fuck your teeth kicked in. You know?
Sean even admits that. He's like, yeah, you know, I got it all out. I never gonna stop making noise. I mean, his new project, Never Sorry, is one of my favorites right now. But, like, still, he's like, yeah, he's behind his gear this time, but he'll still like swing the microphone around like it's a lasso and throw mic stands.
Yeah.
And like he's just chewing cigarettes. Like his live show is still like entertaining. I've been begging him to play out here.
Well, that's good, man. You gotta. That's awesome. I want to check that out, man, and hopefully you can make that happen. And yeah, man, I'm all about having crazy shows. You know, nothing like a good psychotic performance.
Yeah, it's things like that, and I guess sort of if people are entranced by the noise and thinking like, all right, this is neat, I'm digging this. When they see someone walk around the table to get to them, that might that might involve them a little bit more because now they're locked in.
Right? Yeah, man. Totally feel you, and yeah, I hope you keep up that intensity and that crowd interaction during the live sets, man. Because it's inspiring, and you know what I mean. You were the only act that did that night, and like that's how fucking cool it was to see,
Yeah, it was. Even I was surprised by that set, like especially the incident of Banjo having his hand cut open.
Yeah, and the blood. Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's headbutting himself with the first aid noise box that he had. And there's points where if you watch the video of our set, you can kind of see my reaction of just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm in shock of what he's doing. I'm trying to, like, focus on my gear. But it was great. Yeah, I really liked being a part of that set.
Yeah, man. It's like you were just saying. It's bringing danger in. It's like
and even ties back to the whole chaos thing that we talked about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Also, like he's holding the crucifix at the same time, and to me, it's like kind of symbolize like the blood of Christ and all that kind of ritualization of it. Of the whole set itself.
Yeah, and that is the way that we try to look at it.
Well, that's awesome.
Even
man.
the way that we put it on our shirts is blood worship electronics. So,
hell yeah, dude! I'm all about that. Blood worship is very important, man. Especially menstrual blood worship in sex magic. You know what I mean? It's some next level shit. And Prolapsed Catholic, some next level noise. And thank you very much, Seth, for joining me. I think it's been a great episode. I appreciate your time. And could you tell the listeners one more time where they can find you? And just a reminder of those shows one more time.
yeah, so you can find me Instagram, Napalm Seth 1334. That'll be all like noise related updates. Shows we have actually one sooner than I initially thought. It's May 9th at the Void in San Bernardino. We will be collaborating with some friends of ours for a big versus set.
Nice.
July 15th, I believe, is the day we are playing the Idaho Noise Fest.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm not excited about that drive.
No, yeah, that drive's gonna be a bitch, dude. That's what I was telling the guys. Like, dude, if I can perform, I'm more willing to drive that 11 hours, but
August 7th at I believe it's called the Heart Thrift Shop in San Diego, and October 5th at the J Cafe for the Bird Eater Noise Summit.
hell yeah, dude. I'll be there for sure. Hopefully caked in blood and chains and death.
Oh, yeah, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's got to. I mean, it's got to happen there. Of all places, it's got to happen there. It's the, that's actually the gateway to hell right there. The exact spot of
San Diego.
San Diego State University. Yes, you wouldn't believe, but
I
it
can
is.
see it.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for joining, and also thank you all for listening, and God bless you. Have a good night.